I have been wrong for years about this lens. The famous and equally infamous Canon kit lens, the 18 to 55 millimeter kit lens from Canon. Everyone says it's just the absolute worst. I used to think that. Not so much. What bothered me most about that lens actually was the focusing ring. The literally the fact that you had to like twist the front element of the lens to focus manually. I couldn't accept it. Optically, I hated it. It seemed soft. It seemed like there was just tons of chromatic aberration. It was a slow lens, obviously, because it was a kit lens. And I was just like, let's sell it. Let's get rid of this thing. As I've become a bit more of a professional over the years, and I've actually used, budget equipment to produce very high quality professional results, I was thinking back and being like, I was very harsh with that lens, and I was jumping on the bandwagon, like hyping up the whole hate train just because it was the fun, cool thing to do. But the truth is, the real artists and creators aren't really spending all that much time hating on that gear. They're actually making something decent with it. There's just a lot of bad information out there and bad advice of people being like, as soon as you get the camera, just get rid of that kit lens. I would say don't get rid of that kit lens, maximize it and push it to its limits. Do what you can with it before you start spending more money. Likelihood is you've already gotten yourself a DSLR or mirrorless camera and it came with a kit lens. And all you hear about online is, get rid of that kit lens. It's terrible. It's not going to produce anything good. You're going to outgrow it soon. It's true, you will outgrow it soon. But when you're starting out and you're a beginner, make something great with that kit lens. And oftentimes, people won't know the difference between a high-quality professional lens and a budget kit lens. Instead of just throwing more money at equipment because you're convinced that you need this to be even taken seriously as a creative, stop and think for a moment why you got into this in the first place and start creating. Start working at it, and you will know when the right time is for you to upgrade. After I've gone off that rant, let me tell you about this kit lens. It sucks, don't buy it. My biggest complaint about the kit lens was solved in this newest version. There is actually a legitimate focus ring. Yeah, it's pretty small and kind of pathetic a little bit for manual focus, but it's not the front element. And it just makes me really happy that they have a dedicated focus ring, because that's where I live, is manual focus, for the most part. Also features STM autofocus, which means the autofocus is actually really snappy, silent, and quite accurate. I've done quite a bit of tests actually with this lens, and the autofocus is fantastic. I'm usually nailing the shot and the focus almost every time. And having the stabilizer on here works like a charm as well. Again, you still got the complaints that the old kit lens has, which is the infamous plastic mount for the EFS lenses. If you've seen my past videos, you know I modified the Canon 10 to 18 millimeter lens to a metal mount that was also EF mount compatible. This new lens, I don't know if you really can do it because there's this one glass element right there in the front that I don't think you can actually detach. You might be able to, but I think they created that glass element to protect the interior glass from gathering dust and stuff like that. So I haven't done enough research to find out if I can do that, but really I just mainly use this on my Canon. Optically, they've actually made a lot of improvements to this kit lens, and it looks really nice. It's nice and sharp, chromatic aberrations well under control, distortion's not bad. You don't get a ton of depth of field due to the slow aperture of f4 to 5.6, but once you zoom in past 24 millimeters and into 35 and 55, you're getting shorter telephoto reaches, you're getting portrait focal lengths, and you are getting a little bit of blurriness of the background due to that compression. So even at f5 and 5.6, you still are getting some nice depth of field in certain circumstances. Pretty much the same, although there has been some improvements. It's a little bit tighter made than the original kit lens, but it is still made of plastic, but I can tell that there's a little bit more of a robust feeling than the older kit lens, so there are improvements in that way. But really, I have been impressed with the sharpness of the lens. For a kit lens, this is sharp. It's nice. It's really good, and you do get good quality images with it. The real question is, should you buy the kit lens? If you already have a Canon and lens kit, you probably don't need this because you probably already have what you need. But say you have a whole bunch of primes and you really are just getting tired of changing out these lenses, yeah, pick up a cheap kit lens, have a zoom in your bag, just to help with that convenience factor. If you have absolutely nothing and you're starting from ground zero, the kit lens is the perfect place to start. Go ahead and use it, and when you feel like you've outgrown it, go ahead and upgrade. But don't let people kind of tie you up with these expectations that you need to upgrade immediately. Get familiar with your camera and your equipment, then you'll know what you're doing, and then you'll know when to upgrade. But it's really nice to have, and it is a wonderful companion piece, again, to the Canon 10 to 18 millimeter.